young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
This is still one of the nuttiest sound bites that I have heard in some time. And that's New York Governor Kathy Hochul, who's, I mean, you heard exactly what she said there. She's saying that young black kids in the Bronx don't know what a computer is. That seems like racist as all get out, what she said there, intentionally or not, whether she intentionally meant to cause offense. That's insane. I'm like without. Wow. Welcome back to the program. Dana Lash with you. Top of this third hour. We've got Congressman Jim Jordan who's going to be joining. He's on the floor right now voting. He's going to be joining us at the bottom of the hour now. We're going to a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. But this right here, the reason I bring this up is because there's no accountability when Democrats show you who they are. There's like little to no accountability. And this, I mean, she's the governor of New York. I was reading this story about this fraternity at Ole Miss. And this fraternity at Ole Miss, I think you saw like some of the video that was out there. I know that there were a lot of the photos and that were out there. I'm pulling this up. The protests that were taking place on the quad at Ole Miss. They had the pro-Hamas protesters out there, and they were really, after you had the frat boys come out at UNC, you had the frat boys come out protecting the flag, and then you had fraternities coming out at all these different universities, and now you got to come up with a way, you got to make somebody the avatar to try to take down all the fraternities. So there was like one frat member who was in a massive group of other fraternity members, and there were these pro-Hamas protesters that were separated by law enforcement from the anti-Hamas protesters. And you've heard some of the heinous stuff that some of the pro-Hamas protesters have been not just doing, but saying to everybody. I mean, I've watched white pro-Hamas protesters call black cops Uncle Toms at these riots and scream in their faces and racially abuse them and all this other stuff. And that's okay with the left. So they get this one lady who apparently was already like racially slurring the frat boys from what people who were on the ground were saying. And so you got everybody feeding tensions, right? You got her doing this. You got the fraternity that's screaming at her, and she's pushing buttons. And there was one fraternity member out of a whole mob of them there who was caught making, according to the report, making monkey noises to her. And because she's a black woman. And now they're saying that the college has to expel him. No, they don't. The fraternity, and a lot of us were like, well, the fraternity will take care of it if they feel if the accusations are true and they feel that he embarrassed or caused injury to the fraternity. And they did. They expelled him. The fraternity kicked him out. He was expelled from the college fraternity Friday. And they said that, that particular, like any kind of racist abuse, they said compromises the values of Phi Delta Theta. So that Phi Delta Theta has already done more than any of these other college organizations to these racist anti-Semites that are all over these college campuses screaming at black cops and also screaming anti-Semitic abuse at Jewish students. And there's tons of video that exists out there at more universities than I can count with both of my hands. So it is not an exception. It is the rule of these protesters. Out of all of these frats, all across the United States, at all these college campuses, they got one dude who made monkey noises at this lady and apparently they were trading racial abuse back and forth to each other. I don't know. That's what all I saw was the screen grab of the cool dude in the Stars and Stripes overalls, and it was funny. So the 21-year-old student, and he's a finance major. I'm not sharing his name. He's a 21-year-old student and he was kicked out of his fraternity. Now, is what Kathy Hochul just said as bad as what he did? She went out in front of people and said black kids were too stupid to know what a computer is. Now consider the difference here. This is a 21-year-old frat member who is at an anti-Hamas event. So there's a little bit of a different environment. This is a governor who's twice his age, over twice his age, who's talking to members of the press and saying this stuff. And she gets to make policy and shepherd policy through. Do you think that there's going to be any accountability for her? This 21-year-old was kicked out of his frat. The governor wasn't even asked to apologize. Furthermore, none of these groups at all of these college campuses, none of them have been asked to apologize because they sanction this behavior. They sanction the anti-Semitism. They sanction the racial abuse towards Hispanic and black police officers. I mean, some of the stuff that these protesters have screamed at cops who are not white is heinous. And these cops, God love them. I watched one Hispanic cop be slurred 6 ways to Sunday. I watched another black police officer be ridiculed and called racial epithets and all this stuff by white progressive protesters, pro-Hamas protesters. Why isn't the media gone and searched out the identity of these racists that have been screaming at these cops? Or what about the racist, like the white protesters, what was it, Columbia or New York City College, that they surrounded a young male Jewish student who had his book bag and was literally trying to get to class. He ended up missing his class because they formed a circle around him and then they started shouting slurs at him on video. I can't even play this stuff that I'm playing on air for you, or I'm talking about. I can't even play on air. What about I don't even know if I can play this. The audio of these, what is it? The Urban Infantada, the store? Forever 21 Infantada. These chicks that were screaming at cops at the Met Gala. Did you guys see this? So they tried to disrupt the Met Gala. And there were these chicks that were screaming at the cops. I don't even think I can play it. I don't think we can play it. They were calling him piggy, piggy, piggy. No, but man, the media went and found this 21-year-old. Got him kicked out of his frat. They want him kicked out of college. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's already been held more to a greater level of accountability than any of these raging anti-Semites, all these terrorist-loving anti-Semites, all at these college campuses. So hell no, he doesn't have to leave his university. But oh man, they want to make him the avatar for it. They want to make him the avatar. But the frat already took care of it. Frat police their own. They already took care of it. See, out of all those frats all across, you had one student where I have so many videos I could, for the rest of the week, we could just play these videos all week long. No accountability for them on the left, though. Absolutely none. And that's the thing. And it's also organized. So I told you they were at the Met Gala. Do you know the Met Gala is the Metropolitan, it's the Museum of Art in New York. Anna Wintour is the editor of Vogue, and she does it. And I think that their themes are so damn stupid. It's like an overhyped toddler's birthday party, right? Where it's like a party more for the people throwing the party than it is for the guests. It's weird. But they all have their themes, and they all arrive in their costumes. And it's the rich people's museum party. Well, they had the pro-Hamas protesters in New York last night, and they broke through the barricades and they started storming their way to the Met Gala. Oh my gosh, the cops showed up. They were not going to allow that to happen. They did not allow those terrorist anti-Semites to get anywhere near the Met Gala. See, it's okay if they disrupt college campus life and they shut down college campuses and they cancel college classes, and they cancel commencement ceremonies, and they make students feel unsafe. That's okay. But the second you mess with the beautiful people, it's the Hunger Games. It's not allowed. It is disallowed. You are not allowed to do that. They acted and shut them down. They didn't get anywhere close. So, see, they can act when they want to. Orders can be given, and they can be enforced, and people can be stopped and removed when they want to do it. But you're not going to have these people bother the rich people's museum party. You're not going to have that. So they acted, and they immediately took care of that. It was weird because we started hearing about it at the start of the night, and then there was nothing. Then it went away because they were stopped. They stood in the street and they yelled, but that was as close as they got. Nothing else after that. See, shutting down college campuses, that's okay. Don't you dare mess with the rich people's museum party, though. Don't you dare step to Vogue. You know how many thousands of dollars are walking that green carpet? I can't even remember what the theme was. It was something to like garden, whatever, beautiful people. Literally, that's what it was. Something to that effect. And then people come and the fashion is always trying to push the envelope, and I don't know. I like art, and I like looking at dresses and people dressing up like old Hollywood style because I like that whole aesthetic. But what I don't like are half naked people that show up at events with wet hair and they call it edgy couture. No, you literally look like you just got out of the shower and you put a towel on. That looks like trashy. There was a broad who showed up in a wet t-shirt. Not even joking you. She showed up in a wet t-shirt. She left her hotel in a towel, and then she showed up to the carpet in a wet t-shirt. Like, you don't even respect it. I think that those protesters, rolling around on the carpet and screaming abuses probably would have done more to respect the green carpet and the event than half of these people that showed up dressed like trash. It's got to be real.